Hello and welcome to 2020 NASCAR Awards. So I've put at least 15 nominations together for things that have happened this year in NASCAR. It could be about drivers, could be about races, could be about finishes, could be about crashes, could be about anything. And so today we're going to give out awards for what happened in 2020. Before I start this, I'm not trying to copy Kamikaze Games. Most of my awards are completely different than his. But I know people are already typing down in the comments, this is a copy. It's not, so yeah, anyway. Worst crash of the year as I voice crack horribly. Anyway, Ryan Newman, you already know what this is. I mean, you already knew this was going to be the award. I mean, it's probably the worst crash since Austin Dillon 2015. Yeah, not good. I can't really give this award to anything else. Best finish of the year. There was one finish that particularly stood out. Daytona trucks. Everyone thought it was going to be Grant Enfinger off turn 4, and then Jordan Anderson just hops out of the line and is like, no, I want to win. And then they kind of beat and banged to the line. Enfinger kind of won dirty, but it was still cool to watch. So, yeah, that was cool. Honorable mentions, we got the Talladega Spring Race. This was crazy. I mean, the whole last lap was insane. Darlington Xfinity cars. It was one of the probably one of the greatest battles in recent memory to like the finish. Not just a green-white checkered or anything. And then this, just the hilariousness that was this Texas Xfinity finish. I mean, I don't know. That was hilarious. And then Kentucky. Alright, best race of the year. Now, this award could have gone to a lot of different races, but I chose the Xfinity Shower 500, basically. Basically is what it was. It was so unpredictable. It was hilarious. There were cars driving off the track left and right. It was, I don't know. It was the thing I liked about this race though. It was like controlled chaos. You know, usually you don't get controlled chaos, and that, in my opinion, controlled chaos is the best kind of chaos. Usually we just have all-out chaos at Talladega and Daytona. And it doesn't make for good racing, it just makes for 1,000 crashes. And it's really annoying. But this is the funniest thing I think I have ever seen. Honorable mentions consist of the 2020 fall or spring Talladega race. Bristol. Can't go wrong with a Bristol night race. And Martinsville spring, that was pretty good. People will argue that fall was better, but I don't know. They were both pretty good. I just chose this one. Worst race of the year. I just said it a minute ago, but it's Fall Talladega. I mean, this race was a complete disaster. It dragged on so long. It was like 5 hours. There were like 3 red flags. It was just not entertaining. And then the worst part of it was the finish. It was just so redundant. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just stupid. It was all around a dumb race. And then an honorable mention, the Coke 600, just because it was insanely boring. It was saved by the fact that Chase Elliott didn't win, though, so you always love to see that. Most overhyped race of the year. This one was pretty easy to pick. The road course at Daytona. I mean, everyone said this was going to be a complete and utter insane wreckfest, and then nothing happened all race. So yeah. And then an honorable mention is the actual oval Daytona race in September. I mean, leave it in the 4th of July, please. Why did you ever move it to September? I just don't understand, but I don't know. NASCAR was talking about this race like it was going to be like the craziest, the most action-packed thing ever, and everyone just kind of drove around for the first 180 laps. No one really tried to make moves or anything. Everyone just kind of was hanging out on the outside lanes, so I don't know, it's kind of boring. Biggest bonehead of the year, Noah Gragson. I mean, he was involved in so many incidents on track and off track. Harrison Burton. But anyway, I mean, he was kind of a clown all year, so he gets the award. Most underrated driver. Now, this is pretty easy. Michael McDowell. I mean, he's consistently got so much more out of his equipment for the past, 4 years. I mean, he's just rock solid. I mean, he beat Stenhouse in the points, so you gotta be doing something right? Ryan Sieg in the Xfinity Series, I mean, he wins this every year. He's consistently outrunning, Michael Annett and Riley Herbst. That's always good. And then in trucks, it was Todd Gillen, just because Todd Gillen. Luckiest driver. This one's pretty easy. It's Justin Haley. I mean, he is probably the luckiest driver in NASCAR history. I mean, he's lucked into so many wins over the years. Like Daytona this season, where his teammates took each other out, and the seas just parted in front of him, and he just drove off to the victory. And then just randomly getting into the championship for, he's even got a clover on the side of his car. That's why he's lucky, because he's got a clover on the side of his car. Anyway, unluckiest driver, this is pretty easy, Eric Jones. I mean, ever since the Clash, things were downhill. It was pretty awful in terms of his season. Just crash after crash, stupidity that wasn't his fault. Tyler Reddick just taking away any chance he had at winning. He should have won both Talladega races this year, but the Menards sponsored vehicles decided to be dumb. Yeah, that's about it. Biggest meme of the year. Now, I went with the consensus on this. I didn't pick mine, but I picked it's still 2020 because everyone's saying that. An honorable mention is Noah Gragson, because Noah Gragson, it's just... Also, he had the pen emoji back in August. I mean, that was... Everybody was using that. My personal favorite, though, would have been the Fox at Darlington. I thought that was the funniest thing all year, but yeah. So anyway, biggest bust of the year. This wasn't even close. It was Joe Graff Jr. I mean, everyone loves him for no apparent reason. I don't know why. He's pretty bad. He wrecks all the time. Yeah. Best Cup driver all year, Kevin Harvick, because he deserved the championship, and I don't even know what to say. Yeah, he was the best driver all year. Yeah. Worst Cup driver, Quinn Houff. Do I even have to explain why he's the worst Cup driver? He's just Quinn Houff. That's my explanation. Best moment of the year. This is my personal favorite. I enjoyed this way more than I probably should have. But Harrison Burton turning left out of turn 4 on Noah Gragson. I don't like Noah Gragson. And I thought the ending of this race, basically it was just Anthony Alfredo holding up Harrison Burton, who was way quicker than the two of them combined for 10 laps straight. I mean, Alfredo was just holding them up, and finally gets around him with 2 to go. And Harrison Burton gains a second in 2 laps. I mean, that was the funniest thing I have ever seen. Yeah. worst moment of the year. Now, there's a lot of them that include the number 9 car, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the opposite of the number 9 car. I mean, from this angle, it looks like the number 9, but it's actually the number 6. Ryan Newman, I mean, this crash was terrifying. No one knew what was going on for like 3 to 4 hours. It was pretty awful, and that's the worst moment of 2020 for NASCAR, at least. So anyway, thanks for watching. Leave your, if you want, leave your awards in the comments below. I think that would be pretty interesting to compare and contrast. But yeah, so anyway, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.